I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I've been to a number of camps before. I'm here with 4 or 5 other students of mine and training partners. And today we're going to be doing knee shield stuff, half guard knee shield. It's all very similar. You can go back and forth between the two. I'm just going to show you some sweeps and attacks that I like to use on a daily basis. And it's always using leverage and weight distribution and minimal strength. Okay? Strength is only what we have to use. It's like our ace up our sleeve if we have to use it. Okay? So we're going to learn how to leverage our opponent using our hips. Okay? And we're going to probably run through maybe 5 or 6 sweeps. All right. So to get started, we'll just go down into position. So we're just going to be here like this, right? Now, in a half guard or knee shield type position, I always like to have my knee up in their shoulder, okay? And that blocks this side of their body. My other hand is going to block this shoulder, okay? And what that does, it creates like a little V in my forearm and my knee, which his neck like rests right in there, okay? Now I'm also going to control his forearm right here, so that way he cannot get a grip on my gi at all. I can never let this happen. If this happens, I have to address this grip before I do anything else. Okay? So I control the wrist first thing. I control the shoulder. I control this shoulder here too. Okay? I can push and I can pull. If he starts backing away, I can use the laces in the back of my foot to pull him back in. Okay? Now my bottom hook is also active. I'm also keeping it nice and curled. And I'm not pointing my toes because then I can't have a good curl. So my foot is open so I can curl it in. Okay, so I'm pulling with my bottom hook and I'm slightly pressing with my top hook. I'm not just pushing my knee, I'm extending my hip. Okay, so I'm extending my hip, not pushing my knee. So I have a good frame here. To get an underhook, he's not going to let me get this underhook, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my hand just on my knee. And I'm going to put a little tension in on his chest. And as I feel him pushing some weight back on me, I just slip it through and sit up to my underhook. Okay? And as I sit up to my underhook, my hand on my knee, I sit up, I come up on my elbow. Okay? And my hand is either up over his back or I can grab his belt. Doesn't really matter in this position. No gi, my hand's just floating. Okay? Now that I'm here in this position here, I want to scoop my hips out. I just want to make an adjustment out a little bit. Okay, so I have some room in here. Now my shoulder, I want my shoulder to come right low on his, as close as I can to his hip. Okay, so I'm right like this. Once I'm in here like a ball, I'm just going to grab gi or lapel or belt, and I'm just going to hand it to the bottom hand. See that? See, I just handed it right there. Okay? So once I'm in here like this now, I'm going to use this leg and I'm going to put my knee right under his butt cheek. Okay? And I'm going to bump him forward so he posts his hands because right now he can be heavy on me. So I'm going to use my knee and I'm going to bump him here. And I'm going to grab his pant leg. Okay? Now I'm going to take my legs out and I'm going to come to my belly. I'm just going to drive forward. Okay? And he can't regard because I have this and my chest weight on his leg. So there's no ability to regard. He only has one option, and that's to roll away, which gives me his back. Okay? So we would have a sweep there, and then we would have a back tape. So that would be 7-point sequence. Okay? So we're here. Framing on the shoulder. Framing on the shoulder. Framing on the wrist. Super valuable. If he grabs my collar, I have to break that, get back into this position first at all times. Hand on the knee. I'm going to kick my leg straight. And I'm going to come up on my elbow. Another thing too is when I come up, my right foot plants on the mat. Right here. So I have the ability to drive into him if I wanted to. Okay? Frame, hand on the knee, kick, plant my foot, I'm up here. I'm gonna scoot my hips out, so now I can get low. And I'm gonna grab any material and hand it to my bottom hand. I'm gonna keep my knee on his butt and I'm gonna bump him forward. Just like that. Not super hard, just so he plants his hands. I'm gonna grab this pant leg, okay? I'm going to take my leg out and I'm just gonna drive forward. And he can't sprawl because I have that pant leg, right? I can start passes or whatever I want from here, okay? Look at a couple more angles. Frame, most important part. Frame here, frame wrist. Hand on the knee, kick, sit up to here, on my elbow. If my elbow was here, he can pull this hand, so I want my elbow back. So now he can't get it. Okay? I'm gonna scoot away so I can get my shoulder low. I'm gonna pass any material to this hand. I'm now gonna bump. Just right there. Now I grab his pants. Okay? Now I can take my hook out. Now I can just come to my belly. Now I just drive forward. Whatever I want. Okay? Another angle. Frame, frame, frame. Hand on the knee. Kick, sit up. Elbow back. Scoot away. Shoulder to the hip. Grab material. Knee in the butt. Grab the pants. Now I can pull my hook out and he can't sprawl this leg. If he did sprawl, so try and sprawl, I can still drive. Okay? And here, now I can lift this up and start forcing him to a turtle. Right? And I got the back. Okay? One more time. Let's do this angle. Scoot away. Get my grip. Everybody see that? Put my knee on his butt. Boom. Grab the pant leg. I can even switch this out here if I want. Any questions? Everybody understand? Any questions? All right, let's try 1, 2. Yeah.
And now you can this, which I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm now with a skilled purple belt. A skilled purple belt is going to whizzer or underhook right, or overhook right away. Okay? This kills my underhook. Right? So if you guys can see right there, I do this. I take this underhook hand and I swivel it around and I pinch his wrist. Now try and get your hand back. Can. Okay? So let's turn this out. So I have this underhook, he gets the lizard. I take this hand and I just swivel and I pinch right here. Okay? Now again, try to get your hand out. Never let that go, ever again. Okay? Ever. Now that I'm here, I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to reach under and put the crook of my bicep in the crook of his knee, right here. But I'm still on my side, right? How do I sweep him to the other side without using muscle? I don't want to try and lift him. He's a skilled purple belt. He's not going to let that happen. So the key here is I take my feet and I plant them on the ground, and all I do is I get my hips under his. Now he's going, right? Okay. So all I did was I have my underhook, he gets his overhook, I bring this around and I pinch. Now his arm, his post going the other direction is compromised, right? I'm going to come under and I'm going to attach my crook of my bicep and his crook of his knee. And I don't want to roll and try and bring him over. I'm not strong enough for that. So I use my feet to get my hips underneath his. Now he's already halfway over, and I just go, whoop. Okay, super easy like that. Frame, come up, boom, right away. I'm gonna take my underhook out, and I'm just gonna pinch it with the blade of my wrist. Right there, pinch it. Now I'm just gonna dive under and grab here. Okay? Once I got that, I can pull it nice and deep. Now again, I can't lift him because he's heavy on this side still. So I take my hips and I put them directly under his like a teeter-totter. That's it. Now, okay, now as I backstep this leg, he can't close his legs back up because I have this open. I'm gonna back this leg out, swivel around, shelf under this leg. Now there's no way he's gonna regard up, right? Hand on the knee, boom, pinch, dive under. Okay, once you get here, just stop here. Now feel this. Just feel that motion. Okay? Let's go this way. Pinch, dive. Now I get my hips under. Okay, now if I back step, I still have that wrist. If I want, I can go right here. Because I still have that wrist. You get something to your benefit, never ever let it go. Okay? There, kick, pinch. Dive, hips under, go. Okay, so I'll do it one more time, all normal speed. Okay, however you want to pass. All right, everybody understand this? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
To enter into the underhook,
Yep.
is the does the elbow coming to the back here come with your coming up, or are you able to get it there before you come up?
This elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I come here, I'm up on the elbow.
Okay.
That way I can get nice and deep. Then once I pinch, this just dives under.
Okay. I see.
Okay, so at first I want you guys to get this, then roll. But once you practice that, it's here. Okay, it's all one, yes.
So is the momentum of your diving helping you face a lot quicker? Because I find that the person, especially if they're going to be the base out really well.
Yeah, so it's a combination of everything. It's a combination of here, I can push into him as he pushes back down. Right, I can use that. But it's a combination of me rolling under and my hips. Right, so me rolling under is one thing, but then this is also happening simultaneously. Okay, so here, and then it's a, then I never let these legs lock up again. Try and lock your feet up. Never. I don't want that to happen. Okay, answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, let's try it out. 1, 2. You see how my knee shield, my femur has a slight angle this way? That means he always has the ability to push me down, right? If my knee is up like this, he has the ability to push me out, okay? So now, if my knee is on a slight angle, how do I address the strength of my knee shield? So like I was saying before, I don't like to put it across because he can collapse me. So I like to have it on this shoulder so my femur's kind of straight up and down and a strong post. So now it's hard for him to collapse my knee if it's straight up and down, right? But if there's a little bit of an angle, he can now collapse it. So if I'm here and he starts collapsing it, I just adjust my hips back under so that way my knee is straight up and down again. Because I don't want to fight his hand. If he's pushing it down, I don't want to bring my knee back out because I can't. So instead, he has control of the top part of my lever, but I have control of the bottom part of my lever still. So if he pushes it down, I can just bring my hips back under and that brings it back up. Does that make sense? Okay, so those are just little micro adjustments like this that I'm doing within this position. If I feel him touch right here, I pull it in so my knee's up. If I feel him touch the inside to push it out, my hip goes out. If he touches this side, my hip comes in. Okay, so micro adjustments within the position are valuable for maintenance. Okay? So now this time, again, I'm in this scenario, skilled purple belt, never know what can happen. Right? So I can't get my underhook on the first one, so he starts collapsing my leg. Okay? So if he collapses my leg, his mind is dedicated to keeping this pin. Right? So as he pins that down, I'm going to sit up and connect my pec to his shoulder. I'm going to grab his belt. If it's no gi, I grab that armpit right there, that lat. But gi, I grab the belt. Now, I keep that connection real tight. As I fall back, I'm going to circle this foot because my knee is now across his belly, which I can use as a lever point. So he just gave me a lever point. So now as I fall back, I circle my foot that way. Okay? So we're here, he crushes it down, I sit up and I connect. And I connect and pinch. So it's hard for him to get his left arm back. Try and get your left arm back. I know he wants to get it back, so I'm not going to let him. Okay? So I bring his weight on top of me, and now his legs are light. Now I just... I still have the belt, so if he tries to run... Okay, so he collapses, boom. A lot of people just go, oh shit, they start pushing and fighting. Okay, that's okay. He lets it collapse. We sit up, pinch tight. Now my elbow closes tight. So now I'm also blocking this part of his arm. So it's harder to come out as well. I'm putting weight down, pinning his arm. Okay. Now as I fall back, I circle my right foot this way. Now, if he doesn't collapse my hip and he's just here, I can break this grip, drag it across, and sit up, and here I am. Same thing, pulling back. Right here. Okay? Everybody following? Cool. Now, if you want to get fancy, which this isn't fancy, okay, we break the grip, we sit up here. As I fall back, here, I can catch this leg. Right there. Hips up, hold it out, bang. Goodbye to ACL. So for purple belt and up, there's the knee bar. Okay, try both. Break, up, right here. Fall back. Sound effects and all. All right, let's turn this way. Last one, we'll just do the sweep. So we're here, he collapses. I come up, I grab his belt or the lat and no gi. And I pinch. All right? I fall back. Now it's light, he's on me. Okay? So real speed. Here, he collapsed. Then we can go into our passes. Okay? Thank you, sir. Any questions? Yes.
When you reach across, does it matter if he, like, as he crushes you and he comes in on the lapel or grabs the hand, or is it too late at that point?
I'm sorry. So break this grip, sit here. If you have that lapel, you're just securing your position of not getting away. You want to almost not grip me and disengage and get out of there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Run for the hills.
Got it.
So if you grab me, because remember I said I want to sit up and connect myself to you? If you're grabbing me, you're helping the connection that I'm looking for. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
How do you extend your legs to flip them off, or are you just holding it in a 90-degree angle to roll them over?
Very good question as well. So, watch the arch of the crook of my foot. It stays glued at all times. So when I'm here, I go here, it stays glued, it's glued, it's glued. Now when I get here, it's still glued. So turn back into me. Can't, because I have that foot off the mat. Then I can switch. Now I can come up. Does that answer your question? I'm glued at all times? Okay. Cool. Also, if you want to get super fancy with this too, there's like, he collapses here, boom. I can elevate his hips up higher. Don't reach the back. Okay? We'll do that one more time and then we'll play around with this. So we have a few to play with here. Break the grip, elevate his hips up. Okay? So we have the sweep, we have the knee bar, and then we have the back knee. Let's spend 12 minutes and play around with it, okay? 1, 2. All right, so we're in this position. We looked at the underhook, how to attack. We looked at when he overhooks my underhook, how to attack. We looked at his collapsing, how to attack, right? Now this time, he also wants to get around my knee shield, so he's going to reverse here. That's how you get around the knee shield, right? That's okay to get. What I'm going to do is I'm going to frame my forearms on his back. If it's no gi, I cup my arms on him. If it's gi, I just grab some material and make sure I get my elbows in. Okay? Because of the way he sat, he has this top leg up, and that gives him the ability to be heavy. I'm going to take my leg and I'm going to circle it to a hook right here. Okay? I'm going to elevate this hook as I use my frames to elevate his body. And the second this bottom knee leaves the mat, my hips are to the mat. Super easy. We're here, he reverses. Oh, jeez. Most people are like, oh man, I gotta get out of here, I'm gonna fight. It's okay. We now have an answer. Frame. Keep them down on your hips. Don't have them up high. Keep them down on your hips. And I'm gonna keep my knees pinched. But as I keep my knees pinched, I'm going to open my feet and I'm going to butterfly hook. I'm not just going to take this and butterfly hook like this. I'm keeping my knees pinched as I hook. Okay? Now I'm going to elevate the leg up in the air, suck my bottom leg out. Okay? Again, reverse sit, boom. I catch him on my frame. Keep my knees pinched, I hook, up, and I still have both hands on the collar, and can't run anywhere. Then I can begin whatever I want. Okay. Boom. Frame. Elbows in, forearms tight, so I can push him down. I want to adjust and get me down as deep as possible. Keeping my legs pinched, because if I open my legs, he's going to back stuff out. I do not let that happen. I keep my legs pinched so he can. Look, elevate. Once my bottom leg comes out, I now scoop my hip. Now I got this. doesn't allow me to get that hook, I just keep this pinched, stretch it out. This is very common. Boom, right here. Frame. Pinch my knees. Hook. Elevate. Okay. One more time. Let's go this side. Frame. Hook. Elevate. Back. I still have both grips on his collar to keep him in tight so he can't run. Okay? Let's go one more side. Boom. Hook. Any questions on this?
Yes.
Yes.
If it's no-gi, would you go for an underhook on the far right shoulder that you're underneath?
Let me see. So in no-gi, I would just keep this frame.
Yeah.
I would hook, and I would just go.
Okay.
Exact same thing,
Yeah.
except I would get my seatbelt right away.
Yeah.
That way I had connection. Whereas with the gi, I have his back. So without the gi, I would just boom, seatbelt right away.
Okay. So.
But the framing is all the same. Elevate, hip out. Instead of grabbing the gi, I would go seatbelt.
Okay.
That's the only
And it
difference.
would be the underhook on the one that's like up in the air, not the one that's
Let's see. Hook, elevate, as I'm also pushing him up in the air. Nice scoop.
Yeah.
Here. If you prefer the underhook on the bottom, which a lot of people do, we just take him back to this side. Okay, and then we can.
Cool.
Are you you like the underhook on the bottom side?
I was just trying to figure out which one I would go for the underhook.
Doesn't matter.
That answers that.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let me take you back for a sec.
I don't have a preference.
If you are on this side, this is good for your gi choke. If you're on this side, this is good for rear nakeds. So no gi, I'd like to come to this side with the underhook side, but gi, I'll go to the other side.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any more questions? All right, butterfly hook to the back take. 1, 2.
There you go. That other one comes through. There you go. Got her back.
Class today. So thank you everybody for attending. It's an honor for me to be here and to help you guys with your jiu-jitsu journey. So if you want to continue learning some of these knee shield sweeps, I have an instructional on BJJ Fanatics, and today they have 50% off deal, so check it out. And if you get it this week, I'll be more than happy to go over things with you while I'm here, okay? So thank you very much, and I'd like to get a picture with everybody.